You're watching The Takeoff. The Takeoff. The Takeoff. On Rest TV.
Welcome to this hour, the last one of the Takeoff. It's a beautiful Thursday, 7th of April 2022. And usually on Thursdays we talk relationship, love, family, parenting, all of that. But today in a very special way, there's a lady that you always watch on TV. And today she's going to be live on your TV, and this time it is Rest TV. My name is Duke Brian, and let's get into the conversation already. If you are following us online, please engage with us. And if you want to ask any question, I will be ready to let the lady answer it for you. And are men supposed to be vulnerable? If so, how far should it be, especially with their spouses? Let's roll into the conversation already. Good morning.
Morning, Brian.
Good to have you here.
Thank you for having me. This has been a long time coming.
I know. Like, I was like, oh my goodness. But finally it happened. Yes. How have you been?
Very well. Yourself?
I'm well.
Fantastic.
And right there, first time to Rest TV.
Yes.
People want to, of course, people know you, but it doesn't hurt to say your name and what you do.
And what I do. I am called Rachel Mwine. I am a communications professional. I have served as a news anchor, and currently I just do a bit of communication work here and there. But I also co-host a show on parenting and motherhood.
Yeah. Beautiful stuff. How motherhood? How long have you spent in it?
My son turned 7 last week.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so it's been 7 years, or maybe 8 if you count when I was expecting.
Yes.
But yeah, about 7 years. It's been an absolutely worthwhile journey.
Wonderful.
Yes.
And the marriage, how long has it been?
I've been married this year 9 years.
9. Wonderful stuff. So she definitely has something to tell us right there.
A little.
It's just a little, and you don't mean the journey is still ongoing.
The journey is still ongoing.
Long.
Sure. Yes.
Long ahead of you.
Yes.
You quit anchoring and all of that.
Yes.
Because of pressure, because you said, let me go do other things.
No, I felt like it was time. I think that for anyone, maybe people who are watching in your career journey, you do things, you are offered opportunities, and you have that inner witness that I think my time here is done. And sometimes you can tell that by maybe the opportunities are not as challenging, or you feel like you have given everything, and that's it. I think it's time for you to venture out, and that's how I felt. And I did some soul searching, and I made the decision to leave. Thankfully, when I did leave, I stepped into a different field. Skills training for an organization called Andela Uganda, who deal with software engineers. So I did that for about 2 years, and then stepped away as well. And now I'm finding my way again. I think there's no end to that.
I know. You keep on do this, live it, find something else, and beautiful stuff.
Yes.
All right. Now we're going to get into our conversation now. Vulnerability. I don't know if it's called for men as well to be vulnerable, or it's people find men that are vulnerable feel like it's being a
crybaby,
and all of that.
Yeah.
For someone who doesn't understand vulnerability, how do you explain it in just a few?
So being vulnerable is, how do I put it? Being vulnerable is lowering your guard. So putting down your defenses. We all have defenses. We all maybe have been hurt or traumatized in life. And so as a result of that, we put up walls to protect ourselves. To protect ourselves from hurt, to protect ourselves from rejection, to protect ourselves from negative emotions. And so when we meet people, and I meet my husband and say, okay, now we're going to get married, it's not automatic that those walls come down. No, they stay up. I love you, you love me, but I must protect myself. And it's not something that you consciously think about. It's it happens as and when there's an experience.
There's something I didn't understand, that you have to protect yourself even from the person you love.
You don't think about it until they do something that you're like, I don't like this. I don't like how it makes me feel. And even though you're the one who loves me, I'm going to protect myself. So walls go up, or fences go up, You've heard the saying that the person that will hurt you the deepest is the one that's closest to you.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
because they know you. They know your weaknesses. They know
Yes.
where you fail. They know you through, and so it's easy for them to pick on those weaknesses
And right on.
and ride on them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, vulnerability right there. So for men, you would understand if a lady is being vulnerable same as being fragile and delicate. Is it this? Is it? Would you be in the same case?
No,
It's
they
not.
are two different things. I think being vulnerable is about openness, is about saying, this is my struggle, I want to let you in, but I'm scared that you might use this against me, or I'm scared that you might use this to hurt me, but I'm going to open up anyway because I care about you and I care about our relationship.
Okay.
No, so it's not the same thing. Being fragile is, you could term it as being sensitive, and that's a thing that happens maybe to mostly women. Sometimes we are overly sensitive about things because we are highly emotional, and there's nothing wrong with that. No, there's nothing wrong with that. So there's a difference.
Yeah, okay.
There's a
I
difference.
get it now.
Yeah.
So with being vulnerable and all of that, how far should you go, with being vulnerable with your spouse?
With your spouse. So I feel that being vulnerable is a very good ingredient for a healthy relationship. So how far, again, depends on the nature of your relationship with your spouse or with your significant other.
Yeah.
If you have, so let me start by saying, men especially, I think on the onset would want to be vulnerable with their spouses.
Yeah.
But one, it depends on the nature of your relationship. Are you guys open? Do you talk about stuff? And then two, he has concerns that maybe she could use this against me. And if he tries it and this person uses it against him, or maybe it comes up in conversation that, she draws a conclusion. Let's pick an example. Let's say you're married to someone and you tell them, look, I have this struggle. Maybe I'm struggling with, give me an example of a struggle.
Struggling maybe with betting.
Oh yeah, okay, let's say betting, gambling.
Yeah, gambling.
And then maybe money goes missing,
Yeah.
or money is, so maybe we don't have money. We are in a state where it's not necessarily
Sometimes I may even borrow from you.
Yeah, to do
seemingly.
something, yes. But at the back of my mind, because you have opened up about this thing, I'll be like, maybe he's going to use it for what? For betting. And let's say what you were using the money for doesn't materialize, and you come back and you're like, oh, the money didn't work out, blah, blah, blah. Do you think you can help me with maybe another 1 million? What? What do you mean? But I gave you, Andrew, I feel like you're using this money for what? That thing that you opened up to me about, big mistake. Because sometimes it's not true, that maybe you actually genuinely use the money for something genuine.
And it failed. It just failed.
And it just failed, and then your spouse, because you opened up about this thing, brings it up in conversation as if to say you have misused the money again. So she's using it out of context. Do you have to talk about it as a couple, the betting and gambling thing? Absolutely, but this is not the time. So timing is everything. So for your spouse to bring it up in conversation like that can be very hurtful for you. And then that door will be closed forever. So you'll think to yourself, I'm never going to tell my wife any of my struggles because she has used them against me. So I think that men want to be vulnerable, and I don't even think it's a question of how far is too far. It's the concerns that they have. She's going to use it against me. Maybe she's going to tell other people and open me up and expose me. And so I think women, since we're talking about men being vulnerable, need to understand the dynamics of men being vulnerable. There's also your ego.
Right.
Yeah, it's not easy for a man because you're brought up to be macho and
You can't do so. You can't go to yourself before.
take care of business, and so now you come to your wife and say, look, I'm struggling with this thing, or maybe I wet the bed.
Yeah,
Just
happens.
say. Yes,
Happens quite a lot.
So for women to hold that with gloves, what do you call it? Yeah, with kid gloves, and not use it against them, but also not bruise their ego further because they've had to push through so many walls to come and tell you something. So I don't think it's a question of how far is too far. I think that we as women need to be sensitive, while for us, we can talk to our fellow women and open up about things so easily. It's not the same for men.
I have a, a challenge right there with, if this guy is not comfortable talking to you about it, don't you think there's somebody else he's talking to about it?
Now that's the problem. And I hope it's not a woman.
And if it's not the spouse, exactly, if it's not the spouse, then there could be another woman out there who has learned him and knows, Simon, are you okay today?
Yeah.
Like, oh man,
I'm not.
I'm fine. No, I see you. You're not okay.
You tell
just tell me. I'm here.
Yeah.
Come on.
So you see the
and
problem.
then whenever he comes home for you, you're like, you're going
So what's the problem now? And you've already killed the approach. I think that sometimes marriage breeds familiarity. We get very used to these men, and because I have seen you, there is nothing more to hide. I've seen you at your worst, I've seen you at your best. So sometimes we get very familiar with our spouses that we don't. It's not very important for me to be delicate about your feelings or to be delicate.
You need to help people out there. I think there's a very thin line between being well acquainted and
being
getting familiar.
Yes. Knowing your spouse is a good thing. I think that you need to take time and study your spouse and understand what makes him tick, what makes him happy. But when you live with someone on a daily basis, you need to draw the line between, the Luganda word is tukumanira.
That's it.
Yes, the Luganda word is tukumanira, and to know him. And it happens a lot with couples where you start off as friends. I know that this is something that I struggled with. My husband and I are friends. We were friends even before we got married.
Okay.
And, we joke a lot. You crack jokes here and there. You make fun of each other. You fart in each other's presence. Yeah, so
it's okay.
It's okay. It's cool, And so when it gets to things like, serving him and now being a wife. So there's many hats you have to wear. There's a hat where we are buddies, we joke around and all, but then he's my husband, he's deserving of respect, he's deserving of service, man of the house, So that line can be very thin, that even when it comes to his feelings and him being vulnerable, you might think, so you can grow up now. Man up, and that's it. You have killed it because this vulnerability has come from so far. And just by you making that brash comment, and the comment can be made innocently out of, now we were just joking the other day, like how can you be struggling with something like that? Don't, honey, don't. Yeah.
Oh my God.
The other issue,
and I think we coil, most of the guys, I don't know why most of us, after such, I've told you something that's so dear to me, that means quite a lot.
And you dismissed it.
And I don't answer back, I just coil.
Exactly. And that's it. So now for me, I will pick up on the coiling. I'll be like, okay, something is off, but you will never know. And you'll wonder, why doesn't my husband talk to me anymore about stuff? Then you'll hear things from other people. You'll be like, but I thought, we were best friends. Then you start having those conversations. Are you really my best friend? How come you don't tell me things?
Is there anything you wouldn't
Is there anything?
Me?
Yes. Yeah. So we need to watch our tongues.
Yeah.
Women.
Very, very wonderful stuff right there. Of course, for us, like I said, men, if you do not, I wonder how women are going to be able to handle this very carefully. If you're going to give them a solution just right now on how best to deal with that. In case it happens, the guy has come and he has something and sometimes he wants to share, but he's not. He's a little hesitant. And, so how do you help him open up before he does open up to somebody else?
Yeah, I think, like we've mentioned, be wary of familiarity. And men have a way of communicating that I think you are, you've passed the line. So I think many times as women, because we talk a lot, we're very emotional, blah, 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 we miss those cues. So I think I would say to women, just be sensitive to your person and always remind yourself that, yes, I see him every day, but at the end of the day, he's my husband, he's worthy of respect, he is worthy of service, and that he's a human being and he has feelings too and emotions, and I need to be sensitive to what those are. Even though he's the protector and defender of our home, he's still a human being, you know, and I've never seen him cry, but he has feelings and he has emotions. So I would say just be sensitive, and be weary of that familiarity line, because that's where a lot of things
get messed up.
Yes, get messed up. And then be patient. Men are not like women. Again, something I struggled with. I'm like, why is he not talking? Why doesn't he talk to me? You know, and while for me, if I have an issue, I can call up one of my girlfriends and say, I'm struggling with this. We'll talk through it, and I'll feel like I have a solution. It's not the same with men. It's not the same. And so being patient with him and positioning yourself as, I am available if you want to talk. Not in a pushy way. Why don't you talk to me? No, not like that.
Would you tell your things?
Would you tell your things? But are we really friends? You know, but just be gentle and patient, and present yourself or position yourself as, I am here whenever you need to talk. And then pray. I believe this is a Christian radio station, or rather a Christian TV station. I can talk about prayer. I've discovered the impact of prayer in my marriage. There are a lot of things that will not go away by you just talking. I came into my marriage saying, we're going to talk about our issues from A to B to C to D, and I discovered that that's not all there is. Sometimes my husband just doesn't want to talk, or the way I want to talk is not the way he wants to talk, or maybe we have tried talking and it has ended badly, you know. So I learned to go back to the Holy Spirit and say, we're at an impasse. I have my things, he also has his things, and we have failed to agree. So what's the way forward? What's the solution? And he shows you bit by bit, sometimes by saying, you're the one who's being you're the one who's being disrespectful, or maybe be patient with him, or pray about it, you know, and somehow a solution shows up. And so I think the role of prayer cannot be understated. Actually, that's probably where you should start. That's where you should start.
Before you do everything else. How do you deal with the African chiefs?
African chiefs.
When you have a husband, an African chief kind of,
macho.
Because there are those actually who overdo it. They demand the respect and all of that.
Yes.
And for him, maybe he doesn't know he's actually vulnerable in that aspect. Yinga sajja zenjo the tomani wanazema sajja. Man is going to be a man. What I said is what is supposed to be, and all of that. See, how is a woman supposed to be dealing with that? African chief, what he says is the
law. Is the law. That can be a very difficult place to be. And I also think that as a man, if you are demanding respect, then something is already something is already
missing,
about the relationship. That respect is not demanded. You simply take up your position as a man. You don't have to shout, you don't have to bark, you don't have to insist on respect. Just be a man and do things that men do, which is you provide for your family, you protect them, you are a priest in your home. You do manly things. And manly things are not violence or shouting or demanding respect. No. But I would say to the wife, and this is a hard gospel, I would say to the wife to, one, go back on your knees and pray that there will be sanity in your relationship. There are things that can never go away by you talking back or you behaving like him. So if he insists on respect, then you also say, I'm going to insist on not giving him respect. You are not, exactly, that's it. You know, you're not going to get anywhere. I have learned again that in marriages, you know, the one who sees the problem usually is the one who has to be the bigger man. So if you notice that, oh, my husband is demanding respect, he's behaving awkward, not like normal men or like a godly man, then God is placing the burden on you to go back to him in prayer and intercession. It's not for you to fight the way he's fighting. It's for you to go back to God and say, Lord, you gave me this person as a man, as a husband, but the things I'm seeing in him are causing me frustration and causing me pain. What can I do about them? And God gives strategies. I have experienced that in my own marriage. God gives strategies. And many times the strategies are for us to be broken as individuals because we're not perfect. For us to be broken and to take a step back and act like Christ, and then the change starts to happen. Of course, it's not a guarantee. You know, there are marriages or relationships where there's abuse and things like that. That's not the sort of marriage I'm talking about. This is a marriage where you know that God okayed this marriage. It's in his will. but this person, maybe because of upbringing, because of their worldview, or because what they saw their father doing, they have decided in their minds that men are supposed to be demand respect, bring the food and put it at the table, or serve me. And you know that's...
Haven't you seen them back
Haven't
home?
you seen them back home? Why isn't there food on the table? Why isn't there tea? So
why do I still have my shoes on? Hey.
Banang.
Yeah.
So I'm supposed to take off your shoes.
You got my socks.
My
are
socks
still
are
on
still
my
on.
feet. What?
Oh man, to the woman who is going through that, my heart goes out to you. My heart goes out to you. But yeah, it's a tough place to be. But like I said, when you see the wrong and God has shown it to you, He's basically giving you a burden to pray about it and to stand in the gap.
Wow.
Yeah.
We get back very, very shortly, still with Rachel Mwine, and we are dealing with vulnerability. How far is too far, but also what should you do in such cases? When we get back, the women who, along the way, earn a little more money than their husbands, and their husbands feel over how. But we'll get back and we see how she's able to, sort that. Good morning. Let's get still on the takeoff and still conversating, if that verb exists, with Rachel Mwine. She's Miss English. That verb exists, right?
I think it does.
It does. Conversating.
In certain circles, yes.
But we're just talking about how vulnerable one can be, but also how to get out of it and how to help each other if you love each other right there. Before we got off, I told you about women that along the way earn a little more money than their husbands. And it doesn't settle well with guys. You talked about ego and all that thing. You've been called to have dominion.
Yes.
You man up. The world has a lot of pressure on us really, to do those things. So I think all that pressure and everything brings you to a bit of putting your kira in your legs and you're like, what is that?
She has more money.
Now? She works, she earns more than How is the wife supposed to help the husband in that moment? Also, how is the husband supposed to react to such a moment when the wife is earning more? But also, how is the wife supposed to keep quiet? We know you earn much, but like, I'm the one, by the way, who paid rent. My husband is not doing so well.
Yeah.
Like, must you say?
Yes. So, first of all, for you to be earning more than your husband is already a vulnerable moment for your husband. Yes. So I think understanding that from the word go will help you navigate how to behave and how to relate around him. One, like I said earlier, you need to be sensitive that this, while he is okay and maybe he's not even fronting it, he's not talking about it, it is somewhere at the back of his mind that she earns more money than me. But I also think that dynamic now, it shines a light on your finances as a couple. So how have you split the finances? Is her money and his money our money? So
usually that's the equation.
It's usually the equation, yeah. So if you are open about your finances, then it should not be a problem. Just, keeping in mind, I need to be sensitive. My husband, usually what a lot of women of good understanding do is they'll come and say, honey, this is our money. This is the money we have. What are your thoughts? How do we... So involve him in the...
Where are those women?
Not generally. They are there.
Give them a percentage, let's say. Objectively.
Let me see. I would say 40%. But that's a statistic that I have just sort of thought about. But I feel like...
But coming from a woman speaks a lot. That you give that percentage, because most of them, like you say, Sente Yachikazi.
Exactly. And if I may defend this Sente Yachikazi for just a little bit, and I may not agree with the entire concept of Sente Yachikazi, but a lot of women have been burnt. A lot of women have, given and invested with their men, and the men end up having children elsewhere or having families elsewhere, and sometimes they are left with nothing when their spouse dies and everything is taken away. So it's coming from that fear that I don't want to be left alone with my children.
Fear of the unknown.
Yes, the fear of the unknown, and hearing other people's stories. So it still needs to be thought through well, the whole Sente Yachikazi thing, because I think it takes away from the openness and intimacy of your finances as a couple. But at the end of the day, you're supposed to be intimate. You're supposed to become one. You know, that the journey to becoming one doesn't stop on your wedding day. It's a lifetime for as
Yeah.
long as you're going to be together.
Yeah.
So I would say, one, for the women, please be sensitive and understand that it is always going to be at the back of his mind that you earn more than him. And he may not say it, but it makes him uncomfortable. And so there are things you can do. Like I've said, there are women who will bring the money to the table and say, this is the money we have. These are the current expenses. Is there anything else? You know, like basically involve him in the planning process. It's a risk.
Does it take away the bad feeling that I have as a man?
It doesn't, but it lessens the feeling that you have. It shows your man or your husband that, look, my wife is cognizant of the fact that I don't earn money, but she is giving me that role, not giving you the role, she is allowing me the opportunity to lead, because those roles never go away. And that brings me to my next point, that when you earn more than your husband, it doesn't take away from the fact that you are the wife and he's the husband. He still needs to do husband things and you still need to do wife things.
Why? Like choose a hustle. People usually say choose a hustle.
Choose a hustle.
If I make the money, do the house chores, bro.
I don't think it works that way. And I think when you start to do that, then the lines get very blurry and quarrels
I
happen.
can't be doing everything.
I can't be doing everything.
Yeah.
Well, there are ways around it. You can hire a maid, hire somebody to come and wash the clothes, or hire someone.
Ekisajja kyawo nakyo kikola kiba nange.
He just spends his day sleeping. And again, even there are ways to go about it. You know, it's a thing of, you know, honey, are you able to help out around the house? If he's not, again, it's not something to fight about.
Also, those men, they're
Who
there,
just sleep.
who won't touch a thing in the house.
They're there. We live with
Like,
them. They're there.
Swalako, you're not, bro, you're not providing, you're not doing anything.
Do
and
something.
You're still cross-legging and watching
Brian,
TV.
would you though? If
I'm
it
not
were
very
you.
good with house chores and all that. But my point for me, how I was groomed is, I don't know if it's very wrong, because at some point, there's a point I didn't really, my job was not really doing well.
Yeah.
And she was actually doing better.
Oh.
And so at some point, I saw my 300K for upkeep. I felt so ashamed.
But why?
Yeah, like I'm not supposed to be doing that.
Yes, but
So I
at
don't
the
know if-
moment you're not able to.
Yeah, because I was, made up and brought up
To provide.
and all of that. So,
To provide.
so there are those men now like us who feel,
This is
I
not
need to pay back. I need the you feel the urge of paying
to
back
pay
that
back,
money
to
sometime.
pay back. Yeah, and I think so. It works both ways. There's women. So I've talked about what women can do
Yeah.
to lessen the feeling.
pressure,
Of course, you can't do everything, but I think even men need to check themselves. Like if it's a season in life, if you are unable to provide, or maybe you're earning less than your person, embrace the season. As difficult as it is, I'm serious. Embrace
Easier
it.
said.
Easier said than done.
Eh.
But even your wife, remember,
Yes.
is not somewhere on a beach sipping a pina colada.
she's actually
No,
working.
she's working and she's doing something that she's not built or cut out to do naturally. You've said that the man is supposed to provide, so that burden resting on the woman is also not easy. So she has embraced it. I think you also need to do some inner work and say, look, this is an opportunity for me to be humble, and whatever humility looks like, if it means cleaning the house, if it means, helping her do the shopping, I don't know what it looks like. Do that.
It's a guy I told one day in these church settings. Amegenda gundi akwe ku uniform for the choir oyimbe. Me, I don't wear my shirt with them. I told bro, you can't be broke and proud.
You cannot.
You just need to
You
choose
need
us when you're broke.
Be humble. Calm down.
Low-key.
Keep your head down. Keep your head down. I absolutely agree that, and I mean humility is supposed to be all around.
Yeah.
But humility is really tested in those moments. Yeah, and so it can't be. Yes, you'll have a season where you're grumpy and you're sulking, and oh my gosh, life is hard. You sit on the couch, watch TV. She'll come back and find dirty dishes, but it can't be forever. It can't be, because then you're sending a message to your wife that if I'm not providing, then I'm not good enough, which is not true. If you're not providing, you're still a husband. There are still things that you need to do. You need to be praying. Maybe use that time to pray for your family.
After all, you're the priest.
You're the priest in the home,
Yeah.
But also I have had stories where men stay in that state, and then they don't even look for work. It becomes
They get comfortable.
Yes, they get comfortable.
Yeah.
And the woman is trying to send, there's this application, you apply for this job. That's not my field. Then you even have standards. Now you're on that couch. Hey, my friend. Yeah, so I think that the work goes both ways. It's not just the woman who needs to embrace the season and help you feel better and pat you on the back. Yes, she can do that, but also you do something.
Don't stay in that position
Don't
for
stay.
long.
Yes.
Well, you had it right there. Now, of course, what we'll be winding up with is the women that are more, let's say, more pronounced. I mean,
they're
now,
leaders.
both of you, at least you've
We are
been
both
in the
in-
limelight
yes.
and all of that. When it comes to women who are more pronounced, Miriam, Atembe, and all those guys out there, we never even hear about their husbands and all of that. We don't know how that thing is and how such women are supposed to handle their husbands and then how such husbands are supposed to behave when
Yes.
the woman is the celebrity, always she's
In
always
the
in the camera, in the
news.
news, talking about this. She's the vocal one. You're the one who comes almost carrying her bag. And stigma and
Yes.
this whole stereotype of people, hey, it was because of the money that he married her, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What happened?
First of all, I think it takes a secure man to be married to a woman like that. So if you're there and you have fallen for a chick who is very vocal and is a celebrity and is in the news, I think you need to do some inner work on your own. If you need a mentor, a guy to walk the journey with, do that, because anything you do to dim her light is going to reflect badly on you. So I think
It seems
that
like you're robbing her of her.
exactly, robbing her of her spotlight, because that's her calling. You also find yours, you know. But I think that you need to make sure that you are secure enough in yourself, and men, I guess, go about it differently. Find your own passions and pursue them, and then support your wife. I feel like when you support your wife, then all manner of envy and jealousy and insecurity,
Would you be jealous, you know?
oh
Yes.
yes,
Then I think I don't love you if I'm jealous, you know,
on your
success, your
spouse.
achievements and all that.
I think it's possible to be
It's
jealous
supposed to be
of
a
your
yay
spouse.
for me, go babe, go babe.
That's the way it's supposed to be, but it doesn't always happen that way. So I think, yeah, be secure and firm in who you are, and if you realize that there are gaps, then do the work. But then also show support for your person, show support for your wife or for your spouse in her endeavors and the things that she's doing. And also, like you have mentioned, realize that her win is our win. If people are talking about her, then it's us, it's our family. But also I have discovered more recently that women like that go back home and they are women. They are not honorable so-and-so, they are not, no, they go back home, and the reason that there'll be issues is that I go back home and I am honorable also in my home. I sit and I put my feet up, I'm waiting for tea, I'm not serving my husband. I'm basically, when I go back home, I still have my cape, I still have my crown, you know, the crown that the world has given me. And so understanding that when I go back home, I am a wife, and there are things that I have put in place to ensure that I maintain my role as a wife. Which includes, again, it's different for many women, but if it were me, I would say I go back home, I'm still able to serve my husband, I'll go back to the kitchen. If I have a maid, at least get involved in the serving, so you're not just seated back, both of you reading newspapers and putting your feet up. Again, it's sacrificial in the sense that you are giving your husband that platform. Even though the world celebrates you and knows you, when you come back home, you esteem your husband. And you know, elevate him in a way that he is not thinking, hey, so she thinks that because outside there they celebrate her, even here. You know. So I guess the work goes both ways. If I'm the only one putting in the work and my husband is busy sulking in a corner, we're not going to win.
I hear you.
Yeah, we won't win.
How about the timing that CEO so-and-so, almighty CEO, she's out there working, less time for the family and all of that, and insecure hubby thinks after work she's
out
out somewhere
with
her fellow
CEOs,
and all that. So is there even
now what should I do?
what would I do about this?
Yeah.
And
I think that, like I started by saying that men need to be secure in who they are, secure in your role as a man, even before your wife comes to do any, oh, Bambi, my husband, Tiwa. Before she does all of that, because that's complementary, you need to be secure in who you are. And I feel like you are secure in who you are by doing husband things. So what do husbands do? Husbands support their wives, husbands provide, husbands protect, husbands nurture. Insecurity creeps in when you're not doing any of those things, and then you expect your wife to come and lift you up and esteem you and so do husband things. And unfortunately for men, and I'm saying this very cautiously, men don't do a lot of research when it comes to being a husband. Women, we do. We talk to each other, we read books, we read articles.
Google is there.
Yes, so much that we are like, okay, wives, and then we are prepped. We are prepped before we get married. This is how a wife behaves. Make sure you do this. Make sure don't shout at the man. Don't do this. Make sure even in the area of the bedroom we are prepped.
For us, we're expected to know by default.
I don't know why. Yeah. So I feel like men also need to do their homework.
Quite a lot.
What does it mean to be a husband? What does it mean to interact with your wife? How do you talk to her? How do you support her? Don't just sit there and think, me, I know how to be a husband. No one needs to know.
I'm a natural.
You have never been a husband, so you don't know what to do. And so do your homework and start to work out. Let me borrow the verse. Work out your marriage. With fear and trembling. And then when your wife comes to esteem you, she's esteeming something. She's not lifting up somebody who is insecure, who doesn't know who they are, who doesn't know what a husband is supposed to do or what a husband's role is supposed to do. So again, the work goes both ways. If the man is doing his job, and if he doesn't know, he's asking. Maybe ask your best man, how do you handle this? Oh, my wife makes more money. How do I go about this? My wife is in the limelight.
Of course, currently there's a challenge with the best men and maids of honor, where you get one who is not even married. You get them for the looks,
just the look and the
match
pictures.
Up, and he has a great beard and
I guess there may be nothing wrong with that if you have a couple that you're working with.
Okay.
Yeah. So as a married couple, you need to decide and say, okay, we have gotten married, but we need somebody to walk this journey with. It's going to be Mr. and Mrs. So and so. Yeah. So you can have the beautiful maid of honor and handsome
next man.
Yes, best man for your pictures to look great. But your wedding is just that. It's just the wedding.
A day.
For us to know that Brian and so, they are married now. After that, we don't want to start hearing rumors. Mune, did you hear about Brian? I think he's not at home. He has not been there for 2 weeks. Why are we hearing? Yes, So have that couple that you work with that can keep you accountable.
You're putting shots, Rachel, this morning as it goes.
I've said so much.
A lot, but a lot of sense, though.
But I would emphasize, and maybe talking to the women, I would emphasize the role of prayer in our marriages. I think that's understated. Even for me as a Christian and growing up in a Christian home, I didn't understand the role of prayer way into my marriage, maybe 5 or so years in. And so pray about everything. Pray about the way he talked to you. Pray about his earning little money. Pray about the fact that you're in the limelight, and pray about everything and take it to God, because God is very interested in your marriage and he's interested in it succeeding, because you are building a nation. You are contributing to a nation. You're going to bring children into the world who are going to look up to your marriage and then also want to aspire to be like you. So it's important that we pray. But on the subject that we've been talking about, which is vulnerability. Men want to be vulnerable, but because we are very different in our makeup, women are different, we deal differently, men are different, they deal differently. There's bound to be times when we might cross the line. If you find yourself in a place like that, repent. Come to your spouse, and if he's willing to tell you what really happened, that, oh babe, I said this thing and you used it against me, I don't know if I can trust you again with my heart. Be willing to repent and humble yourself and say, look, I didn't know, I made a mistake, as opposed to, but also you, what did you expect me to say? Don't defend yourself, because at the end of the day you want your relationship to have that component. Rich relationships have the individuals are vulnerable with each other. And so if you find yourself in a relationship where your husband talks to someone else and you also talk to someone else and you're not talking, I feel like there's something wrong there. Unless you are okay with just, we are just married. You know, we show up to functions and people know we are a couple. If you're cool with that, then ignore me. But if you want a relationship where you grow closer intimately with your spouse, then there's going to be a lot of sacrifice, there's going to be a lot of compromise, a lot of humbling yourself, humility, a lot of repentance, and a lot of prayer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful stuff right there from Rachel Mwine. And I mean, it goes without saying, get to our Facebook. If you've been right there, share this with as many people as you can, because this is information that's priceless. You won't find it anywhere out there. Okay? And thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Amen. For a long time they've been having, and I will hope the gentleman who is 7 years is fine,
he's okay. He's in good hands. He's in good hands.
He's about to come back from school.
They've actually broken off. So,
already.
Yes.
Government said those were breaking off 2 weeks before.
Oh, we are in trouble. No, this is the lower preschool.
Okay.
Yes.
But thank you so much again for
My
your time.
pleasure.
God bless you and make His face shine upon you until we do this again tomorrow. Most of tomorrow we'll be showing you, of course, what is happening in Omoro, as the late Right Honorable Speaker will be laid to rest finally. So have a great day. God bless you, and let's